I feel that increasingly we'll have to look at different ways of identifying and training people to connect dots and be interested in how to look at something which you have never thought about.
So do you think there's a role for that in professional education?
100%. There is a role.
Every day you retire and the next day is day one for you. And they conduct a big time management trainings for senior executives. Because none of us do that, let me be very honest, right? And they actually have a 3-day program which they go out and they actually train the corporates which is outside their realm to make them understand that what it means when every day it is a day one for you. And that's a challenge. We don't feel because we carry our work back home and next day morning we are again back, not with those great ideas, and not everybody, but like you mentioned, those 20 or Gen Zs will definitely come up with new ideas. So that's a concept, a very radical change which is happening.
I want to bring Shekhar in on this theme. I think some time ago you predicted that in 5 years, 80% of all content will be generated and delivered by AI. So what do you think that aspiring artists and creatives need to do to get ready for that kind of a universe?
Do you mind if I say something about data?
Please.
Privacy. It's a very Western concept, huh? Privacy. Gaon jao, raho वहाँ. Where's the privacy? Joint family में किसकी privacy होती है? We get engulfed by the West because Indian education was not linear. Now the Western education is linear, so privacy, data is the new oil. I've been hearing this for 10 years. I used to say, realize what is data? What is a consumer? AI is going to ask you that. I don't care. I mean, I go and buy, what's privacy? अरे यार, Karan George जाता है बाहर, वो Ambani खरीदता है, और सामने तो लिखा होता है Ambani. Privacy का, we are not private people. 80% of India does not have privacy. That's why there is a reason that ChatGPT, we are already ChatGPT's second largest market in the world, because we don't have these issues. We have issues of eating, we have issues of housing, we have to, in that we have to see what is my privacy, where does privacy come? It's not data, what's my data? ले लो, क्या चाहिए? कोई गाँव में जाओ, भाई data क्या तेरा, क्या छुपाएं? सब देखो, कुर्ते में हम पड़ा हुआ है. That's 80% of India. Let's understand, we are not products of the West, we are not products, and the big corporations are not going to last. Let's forget it. It's gone. That area is gone. Now, what was your next question? What was your question? Yeah, am I worried about it?
No, I'm asking if you say that 80% of content is going to be made by AI, delivered by AI.
Yeah.
If you are a young aspiring artist today, what do you need to do? What sort of skills do you need to develop? How do you approach that?
Storytelling. All art is storytelling. All production design is storytelling. Somebody said, camera aise tasveer lo. Just by the fact that you have taken that picture and the way you formed your picture, you're telling a story. All art, everything that we do, 90% of what we do is creative. Creativity is not some kind of a hidden little talent. Look at children. वो crayon देना किसी बच्चे के हाथ में क्या करता है बच्चे? They're being creative, right? So, and the crayon is technology. Camera, when I use the camera, जो आप लोग camera use कर रहे हैं, look inside it. It's a data gathering device. It's technology. ऐसा कुछ नहीं आप इधर उधर कर रहे हैं वो बाकी ठीक है अंदर तो data gathering device है. So we wanted. Do you remember? You're much younger than me. Do you remember? कि जब इंडिया में ट्रैक्टर आ रहा था तो सारी इंडिया खड़ी हो गई थी. या वो तो किसान का क्या होगा ट्रैक्टर आ गया तो अभी तो प्रोडक्टिविटी किसान तो गए. किसान तो नहीं गए. किसान ने ट्रैक्टर सीख लिया. है ना? We get adapted to new technology. I love it. I'll tell you another story. Mr. India किसने नहीं देखी बताओ? सबने देखी है, right? Constantly everyone is talking about Mr. 2, Mr. India 2, Mr. India 2, Mr. India 2, Mr. India 2. मैं नहीं मेरा कर सकता किसी और को बोलो डायरेक्ट करते लेकिन I'll help you write Mr. India 2. उसकी कहानी बहुत very big. Writers game took a lot of money, not from me thankfully, but probably तो एक दिन मेरा एक है बुक्स ऑफ सर मैंने भी किंग स्टेडियम टू की कहानी लिखी है, ये 6 महीने पहले की बात है। तो मैंने कहा अच्छा अब या तो खाना ठीक ना खाऊं या उसकी कहानी पढ़ लूं, कहानी पढ़ी। एंड आई सेड अरे नीलेश ये कहानी कैसे लाए? तो कहानी की सर वो आपके कंप्यूटर में चैट जीपीटी में। तो yes of course technology is changing, but my cook now is a writer. Should I deny him that? Now he's given it. Nilesh तो है यहाँ पे, अगर है तो आ जाए, वो खड़ा है बाहर, वो शर्माता है, तुम उसको बात है ये कहानी सुनाऊंगा तो उसमें बुला दूंगा उसको। So why would I stand against something in art that is becoming so democratic? But then the argument also is creativity different from me getting up in the morning and doing something? Is creativity different from the way I live my life? Is creativity different from my philosophy? So when you say school of creativity, it's a school of everything. It's a school of not knowing. So why would technology interfere? I love it. I love the fact that my daughter can sit down and say, that's an interesting song, I like to get it. Yeah, of course. But it is such a vast unknown creativity that how can technology even... मैं आज बात करता हूँ आपसे, मैं कहता हूँ, अच्छा ये क्या है? You talked about quantum physics. I'll ask you something. Can anybody answer me कि जब वो cave number 16 बना हुआ शिवा के एलोरा में, क्या था उनके पास? हैमर और चिसल? कैसे बना दिया? किसी की नाक थोड़ी सी कट जाए गलती से, तो क्या दोबारा पूरा कोई और पत्थर ढूंढेंगे? नहीं, क्या था उनके पास? Some kind of quantum technology. We haven't even reached that yet because we are too Western in our linear thinking. Corporations have become too Western, management has become too Western. We have to go back to the idea of a kind of quantum. We have quantum theories. Mahabharata is a quantum technology, quantum storytelling. You could go on adding to it. Bring in a lot of or AI now, or add kar do. We're not scared of AI. We look forward to it. I love the fact that little kids can have the technology and create things. If I'm retire, I'm refusing to retire, so I'm making films in AI. You just adapt, yeah, right? Okay, sorry. How passionate I am about it.
I'm going to come to Suraj now. Suraj, one of your former competitor agencies, WPP, they have a...
Richard, then how are you scared of AI? Do you think AI can love? No, you remember that we were taught, she loves me not, she loves me, she loves me not, she loves me, she loves me not, right? If you have AI, you say, she loves me, she loves me, she loves me, she loves me, she loves me. Why would you fall in love? It is the essential idea of being human is uncertainty. अगर कल को आप बता रहे कल परसों ऐसे ही होगा तो why would you live? If you knew exactly that she loves me, she loves me, she loves me, why would you fall in love? We survive because life is uncertain. We survive because of uncertainty, and we spend our lives trying to find find certainty. That's the conflict of life, right? आगे जाकर क्या है? वो उसके आगे Can I tell you a story? Give me 1 second. तो मैं लंदन में एडिटिंग कर रहा था, I brought my cook. टीवी पे चल रहा था वो the anniversary of man's landing on the moon. So I'm Suresh, take, man is landing on the moon. He looked at him, sir. Laughed. I said, go on, sir. Sir, आप तो फिल्म नहीं कर रहे हैं, तो visual effect है. अब तो चांद को पूछते हैं, आपने चांद पे कैसे डाला? So I took him to the Science Museum, मैंने उसको पूरा दिखाया, वहाँ वो space park में सब कुछ है. वापस आ गए, बड़ा impressed लगा रहा सुरेश. I thought I'd won. So I said, Suresh, आदमी चांद पे गया था, he smiled, he said, हाँ सच, आपके चांद पे गया था, मेरे चांद पे नहीं. That's the concept of life. That is the greatest lesson I've ever learned on quantum physics is what my cook told me. So आपका चांद दूसरा, मेरा चांद दूसरा. The universe exists in how we imagine it too. आप पूरे quantum physics पढ़ो, वो कहेंगे, वो Upnishads पढ़ लो, वो ही कहेंगे. इसमें AI कहाँ आता है? क्योंकि it's a mystery. और because it's mystery, the storytelling में mystery है, story कैसे बताएंगे? Art में mystery अगर पिकासो आप देखो उसमें mystery नहीं होगी तो art कैसे बनेगा? So the one way to understand AI is to understand what it cannot, what is not human about it, and then we can find it.
question for each of our panelists. Aparna, maybe I'd like you all to just share with our audience, some of the, maybe the most unusual or wacky new uses that you have found for AI, which you could maybe share with people. It could be a tip, or it could be a story of failure.
Definitely. I use, because I write a lot of articles on LinkedIn, so I definitely use AI to do a lot of my research work. Earlier I couldn't, because I had to read HBRs, I had to go onto the net to research what the world is doing. A lot of these aspects are there before you actually put a content out. So it may not be a wacky thing, but that has become a intuitively thing called visualize or have a vision or purpose. I have that. So I go ahead and give that purpose to it in terms of telling me that now tell me what it is.
To show I'm better. I put all my scripts into AI, it comes up with solutions, and I just laugh. Because AI is not human. But is it a great tool? Of course it is. It's fantastic. But it's never got my schedule right. People still have to call me, "12 baje aap kyun nahi aa rahe?" And I go back to my AI and say, "Kya hua?" And then, and I put it in two of them. I use Google AI and I also use ChatGPT. Both of them get my schedule wrong. So it's got a long way to go, but it's such an exciting tool. But it's what it is. It's a social tool. It's fantastic that way. But I test my ability to be unpredictable with AI. As long as I'm unpredictable, I'm creative. If I'm predictable, I'll go home and be a chartered accountant again. Sorry. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Shekhar, Aparna, and Suraj.
Imagination and creativity will deliver values. We heard process and we heard defy the process. But the common thing that ran was that there has to be a value that has to be created at the end of it. And what that value is of consequence. So thank you so much, MICA, for doing this for us. Completely honored. Thank you, everybody. But before we conclude, on behalf of the entire MICA fraternity, I'd like to extend a memento to each one of you on the dais here. So to start with, may I request MICA Director and CEO, Ms. Jaya Deshmukh, to offer a memento to Shekhar Kapur, and we'll all clap loud. Thank you.
What does value mean in the term of AI? Give me, describe value somebody.
Value?
What does that mean?
That
Let me ask you.
Yeah.
NVIDIA today is a $4 trillion company. Have we finished? I was a chartered accountant, many of you accountants. We were told at that time that if you really like a company, the PE ratio should be 4, 5, 6, 7. It's almost 1,000 times.
Yes.
So what does that value mean? It's a myth. It's a story. All value is a story, right?
And I'll add just one little bit, that value could also be value of happiness. And that's what we're saying. Addition, story.
Try to find happiness.
We do that together. Thank you.
Yeah,
Looking
that's
forward
okay.
to a lot from you. Thank you. I request MICA Dean and Principal Dr. Geeta Hegde to thank Ms. Aparna Kumar and offer a memento. Thank you. Dr. Indraneel Banerjee, head of the memento to Malika. And finally, me, Ruch Tiwari, faculty and CMO at MICA. I have the privilege of offering a memento to Suraj. Thank you, everybody. You were a great audience, but it's not over. Thank you, everybody. We should soon get into the heart of today's event. Like, that's the meat. The much-awaited announcements. I'll request Director and CEO Jaya to please come up, and now she takes charge. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Maybe Suraj, you can Shekhar, you can be here. Of course. So sorry.
हाँ बोलिए अच्छा बाद में कॉल तो हम शूटिंग करते हैं बाद में बात करते हैं Mudra. मैम सामने लुक
Shekhar, you're back on stage. Yes, yes, please, please. And Mr. Shekhar Kapur, who all of you already know, so I don't need to introduce you. He's known for his creative genius. And, lately, for the past few years, taken AI philosopher, which has been an interesting turn of events. And I'm Jaya Deshmukh, I'm the director and CEO of MICA, but I like to introduce myself as who I really am, which is I am from the first batch of MICA, and I'm really proud of being a MICAN. So thank you so much for being here. I also extend a warm welcome, I know Ruchi did this, to Aparna, Suraj and Malika, distinguished guests. Malika is also a fellow MICAN, so there are quite a few fellow MICANs here in the audience supporting us, and thank you so much for coming over. This is truly a landmark day in the 34-year history of MICA. And before I begin my opening remarks, I wanted to extend my congratulations to the foundation, foundation trustees, foundation representatives, president of MICA's governing council members, over 100 plus faculty that work at MICA, that teach at MICA, over 250 recruiters who recruit from MICA, over 4,000 alum, yes, that's how many MICANs are out there, scholars, current students and staff. We are here today due to your contributions and your love for MICA, so big congratulations to all of you. So MICA was set up in 1991 as a school for marketing. This because we've got a very rigorous admissions process, and in some day I'd love to share what we do, because what we test for is not just analytical ability, we test for critical thinking, but what really differentiates us is can we think out of the box. You know the thing that Shekhar taught, can we untether ourselves from the past, or our admissions process actually, so a lot of experimentation happens at MICA. We create strong partnerships and collaborations with the industry. A lot of what is taught at MICA is theory and applications, and the applications come straight from industry. That's why we put Suraj here. He's an example of a lot of industry inputs into our curriculum and pedagogy. And this has resulted in a year-on-year track record of amazing placements, 100%.
Hello everybody. Mr. Shekhar Kapur, Mrs. Aparna Kumar, Mrs. Malika Rodriguez, Mr. Surja Kishore, Mr. Ram Kumar Ramurthy, Jaya, and my team at MICA, friends from the media and distinguished guests. A very good afternoon to all of you. I am delighted to be here today with all of you to share another milestone in the evolution of MICA. This fine institution was established 3 decades ago, as Jaya just mentioned, to nurture creative leaders, to operate at the intersection of marketing, culture, and communication. Creativity, when thoughtfully applied, is not merely an aesthetic pursuit, but a powerful economic force. True creativity is not just born of intelligence, but of imagination. And when our imagination knows no bounds, the impossible becomes infinitely possible. Harnessing the power of artificial intelligence can further fuel this imagination. The world is changing, and so must education. This changing new order demands radical shifts in the way we develop leaders and thinkers of the future. Thus, always ahead of the curve, MICA has taken an ambitious step of setting up a new school within its umbrella. It gives me immense pleasure and pride to announce the launch of the school, School of Applied Creativity at MICA. This school is not about creativity as an art alone. It is about creativity as a strategy, as a competitive advantage, as an enterprise. It is about applying imagination to real-world problems and turning bold ideas into purposeful business values. Starting from the academic year 2026, we will offer a postgraduate program in media courses, content, and entertainment. And then, of course, courses in applied creativity and innovation and creative and cultural industries. These postgraduate and doctoral level programs, these are postgraduate and doctoral level programs to cater the need of the country, the growing demand from the industry. We shall also be offering master classes and certification courses immediately. Friends, it is a singular honor and privilege for me to welcome Mr. Shekhar Kapur, my dear friend and old colleague. We come from the same fraternity. Of course, he was a CA before he came into the industry. But we both belong to the Anand family, if I can put it, in a very holistic way, that I was introduced by Devanand and he's Devanand's nephew. So we have something in common there. So I'm really happy and feel very privileged to invite him here. He's a globally recognized creative genius and an AI philosopher, I believe, as the chief mentor of the school. And I'm really happy to have him on board. Thank you, Shekhar, for coming on board. We now embark on an incredible new chapter in our journey. From a school of communication and marketing to a global center for creativity-led leadership, future-making and human AI symbiosis, a place that ignites imagination. Indeed, imagination is the strategic currency of the future. And I truly believe tomorrow belongs to those who can imagine with capability, courage, and creativity. Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me. It's a subject that's not so well versed with, I'm not so well versed with, but I'm happy to be here and meet you guys. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I now would like to invite Mr. Ramamurthy to make our next level of announcements. As you're aware, this whole conversation around AI requires something deeper and more meaningful. And so to make these announcements, Ram.
Thank you, Jaya, and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. As a proud member of the MICA Governing Council, it's both a privilege and an honor to be with you at this transformative phase during the 34-year journey of MICA. For over 3 decades, as Jaya just mentioned, MICA has evolved with the changing times and has demonstrated leadership through creativity, communication, and innovation. Today, with the newer digital technologies, especially artificial intelligence, changing both the what and the how of business, government, society, and education, MICA is responding both with conviction and clarity. We recognize that there is this structural shift that's driving the reimagination of everything. You saw that discussed in the panel a few minutes back. And we are taking steps to embrace these changes and make it a part of the MICA DNA. I have said often that all of us need to ask this question. If I were to do this all over again, how would I do it? To be stuck in the past is not the answer for the future. So this academic year, we have implemented a comprehensive curriculum redesign with AI and its applications at the core of every course spanning products, customers and brands, while appreciating the fact that in some cases, customers or consumers could be bots and humanoids. Each course is anchored on 4 pillars: the fundamentals, the real-world applications, the tools and platforms, and finally, the evolving influence of AI on that discipline and where relevant at the intersection of disciplines. The one thing that we are acutely aware of is innovation today is happening across disciplines at the interstitial nodes, not within those individual disciplines. We have rolled out an all-faculty upskilling program on AI to empower them with the latest pedagogy, tools and models, and immersive learning experiences. We are also initiating international research collaborations to advance global knowledge exchange for creating India-specific models and frameworks aligning with our commitment to the India AI mission. With that, let me announce the formation of the MICA AI Advisory Board, a very diverse, eclectic, highly accomplished panel drawn from academia, the world of technology, the world of entrepreneurship, working with startups, with industry, as well as people involved in public policy. These experts will guide our journey and ensure that MICA continues to nurture creative leadership in this age of imagination. Let me quickly walk you through the names of people who are being drawn from across the globe. Neeraj Nirmal from Amazon Artificial General Intelligence. Don Broxwich, who's in charge of responsible development and innovation with Google DeepMind. Vivek Ganotra, formerly with Salesforce and currently the co-founder of Sentis, and thanks Shekhar for being the chief mentor for the School of Applied Creativity. Maya Indra Ganesh, who is with the Leverhulme Center for the Future of Intelligence at the University of Cambridge. Ganga Ganpati, who is with Publicis Sapient and a member of the MICA GC. Himanshu, founder and CEO of Six Factor Consulting. Suhan Mukherjee, who is a partner from PLR Chambers and a founder member of the governing board for the Cloud Computing Innovation Council of India, and was also an expert advisor to the Prime Minister of India on public information infrastructure. In fact, Suhan is in the audience. Suhan, if you could probably get up. Thanks, Suhan, for being a part of this advisory panel. And I'm also part of this AI advisory panel. So this is a panel that will serve for an initial period of 3 years and will act as a strategic partner both to the director and the dean of MICA and the entire executive leadership team. This board will advise MICA on its strategy. You've heard Shekhar talk about the need for humans to be more human. And I think that strategic decisioning is extremely critical to MICA on the road forward. Integration of AI across curriculum and pedagogy. We will have a discussion on the democratization of knowledge, and in that context, how is it that we need to probably approach both curriculum and pedagogy. Development of opinion papers and thought leadership around AI, and finally, catalyzing research initiatives and international collaborations. I think Aparna spoke about bias around responsible and ethical AI, and those are areas of immense interest to MICA and the board to drive this charter. Together with the newly launched School of Applied Creativity, MICA is committed to being a school of ideas with a difference. And we have actually captured the
Intelligence at the University of Cambridge. Humans are social creatures, each one unique, and we draw and build on the legacies of practice, knowledge, and culture from the world around us. There's always someone in every field who does break from the norm and who does something that we think of as original. But they are also building on the shoulders of others and drawing from the world around them. It is the striving to be original that is human. AI, on the other hand, just always only wants to be correct.
This is Neeraj Nirmal. I'm a technology professional with over 8 years of experience working with big tech companies like Microsoft and Amazon. Currently, as a senior technical program manager at Amazon Artificial General Intelligence, I support the development of AI models for the company. These include speech and audio models for products like Alexa. When a senior quivers or takes an intentional or unintentional pause, it is the weight of vulnerability, the culture of connection, or even the memory of the senior themselves. Newer models can take multimodal inputs, but they don't feel the connection or memory. While these models are brilliant imitators, they lack the originality of humans, which continue to be our edge. While I say this, human originality has helped us leapfrog social and biological evolution, but still a large portion of our human skill force is compounded repetitive tasks, including even some of our largest employers like agriculture. I leave you with a question, and this is more of a social science question. What happens when these tasks are replaced by technology?
My name is Manshu. I'm the Global CEO for Six Factor Consulting. We work with data and information to help clients take better decisions. Keeping this in mind, I think we start thinking of this as a tool. We have a tremendous opportunity to leverage on, as Indians and as India, the agile innovation mindset that we have. If we just leverage that to create the new solutions that are needed on the back of AI.
Hello everyone, I'm Vivek Garotra. I'm the co-founder of 77, which is an AI native company that in the voice of consumer space is aiming to reshape the industry. This question is truly fascinating and has some, and I'm particularly going to focus on corporations and British society because that's the vantage point I see when I'm operating in the front lines of AI and the role I do in the work we're doing. What I'm seeing is a growing chasm between what is possible on the front lines and what is actually happening in mid to large organizations who are still looking at this as just another technology, just another thing that they need to transform and adapt. However, the rules are fundamentally different. And it requires all of us to almost recondition ourselves, not anchor to old assumptions, but think about new assumptions that are needed on how you would adapt. And institutions like MICA, in my view, play a fundamental role because that sector itself is going to transform. Institutions like MICA have to transform themselves at pace, but they also play a critical role in bridging this chasm between what's possible and what large corporations and large employers and society need to do and get ready and adapt.
Hi, my name is Dawn Bloxwich and I'm a Senior Director of Responsible Development and Innovation at Google DeepMind. Originality is our superpower, but to dig a little bit deeper into what that means to me, I think humanity's superpower has always been and will continue to be the questions that we ask in order to gain that deeper understanding of who we are and the world and the universe that we live in. And that's where we see so many creative and new ideas being generated. I think it's going to be our ability to steer, guide and explore the challenges that we want AI to solve, whether that's in climate or in health, or new ways to understand and educate ourselves about how the world works. And it's really my hope that it's our curiosity combined with our desire to improve and understand that will be central to how we use AI as a tool to drive forward the world in new and innovative ways.
Okay, on that note, let me, on my behalf, thank you all for coming and we look forward to your support. Over to you, Jay.
Suhan is here, like how animated were we, isn't it? So it was a very interesting, set of people, very committed, loving, and wanting to contribute to India, wanting to contribute to MICA. So I'm really grateful for them agreeing to join. I needed to add one small quote from Ganga. As you know, she is a part of our governing council, which is also on our AI advisory committee. So I'm going to quote her. So Ganga says, as a proud MICA alum, she is also from, I think the second, so 2 batches junior to me, and now member of our governing council, who's seen the ad world meet B2B tech head on, I couldn't be prouder of our ambition with the newly constituted AI board. The Institute's vision goes beyond tech. It's about cementing MICA's legacy as the go-to place for strategic marketing, big ideas, and pure creativity. We are not just preparing our students and industry for the future, we are giving them the know-how how to build it. So thank you so much, Ganga, for your quote. And now, finally, I'd like to invite Shekhar. You've been saying a lot, but we'd like to hear a little bit more about why MICA, how does this all fit in?
You're going to risk it?
A little bit. Right. Thank you so much.
Brave woman. Okay, Tina, thanks a lot. Thanks for this opportunity. We've known each other for,
It's all our pleasure. We're going to squeeze you.
that's fine. Squeeze me, you'll get more. I'm not sure what you'll get, but you get something. Let's just start with why AI. You said that. AI is the new part of the world. It's what's going to drive the world. We know that. There's enough being said about that. And currently, there are 3 nations that are standing ahead, with third, unfortunately, probably China, then the US, and then India. We could come out in front. We can come, so this is more a natural perspective, then I'll come back to creativity. We could come up in front, provided we all put our shoulder, push it and not be so afraid of it. There's no reason to be afraid of it. The only thing to be afraid of AI is that the world will go ahead and we won't catch up. The time is now. AI, the people, really, Sam Altman and all my other friends there, they keep talking about $1 trillion. It's only there to scare us. If we could put a rover on Mars at less than the cost that Hollywood could make a film, we could go into those large language models. The LLMs are not as scary as they put it up. This is, at $1 trillion India can't have but $1 trillion dalna hi nahi padega. We are innovative enough. And you know what will help us to be innovative enough? AI itself, right? So the importance of AI is there. I mean, we're turning, I'm on the board of Waves, and we're pushing AI. I run the Goa Film Festival. I'm starting an AI film part of it too. I think the best way to understand AI is to see what AI is not, because everybody says it's everything. When I was a kid, lived in Delhi, we used to go to Simla, Mussoorie, and Barsat hoti thi, so there used to be all these waterfalls. And I was like 13, 14, and my mother used to hate me doing that. I used to run down the waterfall, jump from one boulder to another boulder to another boulder. And, first 2, 3 boulders are easy because you can jump to it, you can see it. But once you pick up momentum, you have to know which 3 boulders, 4 boulders, and you keep going. And I've often wondered, because I could have fallen, slipped at any time. And then at the end of it, when I looked back and said, oh my God, I survived. I didn't die, I did it. And please somebody don't tell my mother I did this. It would go on. Question is, how did I do it? When I was doing it, when the momentum was so high, there was no way I could make a logical decision. There's no way. I can actually sit there. I wouldn't have the time because you're just jumping and jumping. We got into something called the zone. The zone was, what do we call it? It was the same as extreme sports, the extreme sports is the zone. That zone, I still call it the zone of creativity. You're getting into a zone. But I did say I was going to say what AI can't do. I did it to get into the zone. What is the zone born of? It was born of fear. is full of fear. I would not be creative if I wasn't afraid. That zone was about thrill, about the near-death experience. I was challenging life. That zone is about challenging life. And now it's true. Elon Musk can put a little chip in my brain, and it'll tell me, go there, go there, go there. You picked up this is your speed, you go there, go there, go there. I will absolutely make sure that there is no potential possibility of me falling. I can absolutely make sure that there's no possibility of my dying. I can call my mom and say, don't worry about it, I'm taking care of your son. It'll be fine, he'll be fine. Here's the question. Then why would I do it? That's the problem. Being human is about being uncertain. Being human. I said, she loves me not, she loves me not. If the answer is she loves me, she loves me, she loves me, she loves me, I'm not being human, there's no love. AI, being human is about being uncertain. Much as we draw big charts, we do these 5-year plans because there's certainty, and then suddenly find it's not working. And AI will make sure now that it doesn't work, because everything has changed. Everything has changed, everything will change. So everything that is uncertain, everything that is unpredictable is what makes us human. We die. That's uncertain. I might die tomorrow, I don't know. So that's what drives us. And whatever is human, what drove me down is exactly, and the reason it did is what AI can't do. So as long as we remember what it means to be human, we'll remember what AI can't do. So, now let me talk about creativity. It's very simple, very simple. I work with some of the great geniuses of the world. What is creativity? It's a big question. And when you called me here to talk about and teach creativity, I would have called it unlearn, learn, unlearn, learn, unlearn, learn. The most creative beings I've ever seen are kids. We are born creative. How can you teach creativity? What's going on with us? You watch a child and give a child crayons, and my daughter used to cut up all the curtains in patterns. We are born incredibly creative people, and somewhere our education system has taught us not to be creative. And where did this education system come from? It actually came into what we call, the old Gurukuls worked like that. We've developed a linear form of education system that actually came from the West. It really helped us, yes, but it's time to let that go. It's time to let that education system go and come into what I call quantum education. I must say, Shekhar is using a big word. Quantum education does nothing. Mahabharata is quantum storytelling. Mahabharata is going linear, then the story moves around, comes back, something else happens, then moves around, comes back, something else happens. It's unpredictable. You can add things and take out things, and then you'll come back to the same thing. I think I mentioned cave 16, Ellora, right? The Shiva cave. How did I do it? Right? And why am I saying this? I'm saying this because as a culture, we're quantum thinkers. सीधा तो कोई सोचता नहीं यार, है ना? कौन ऐसे करता है? Everybody's thinking, अरे क्या बात कर रहा है? मुझे समझ नहीं आ रही कि क्या बात कर रहा है? मैं क्या कर रहा है? मुझे समझ में आ रही है कुछ बात कर रहा है. That's creativity. The unpredictability of conversation is creative. So, however much we teaching creativity is about teaching to be unpredictable. How can I teach you to be unpredictable? Well, you can by letting you free. Teaching of creativity is the teaching of the freedom of the mind. That's what's amazing. And that's why India has this great opportunity, because as quantum thinkers, quantum thought as being unpredictable as we are, kya baat kar raha hai, kaise baat kar raha hai. I have a big friend who's doing really well, he's formed a huge company in the US. And when I talked to his investors, he said, you don't know what he's saying, yes or no, he keeps doing this. Right? That's unpredictability. That's very, very creative. So let's just imagine the school being creative. Question is, where does creativity come from? Raise anybody in this room that knows where creativity comes from. Oh, come on, let's be brave. I'm not going to put you on the dock. One person who can say, I know where creativity comes from. I just wrote on my LinkedIn today that actually it comes not from the brain, it comes from the heart. And a lot of neuroscientists disagree with me, but that's, I believe. But if I don't know where creativity comes from, how can I teach it? That's a problem, right? How do you teach it? I can teach it by teaching you everything that creativity is not. The only way you can teach creativity is to teach you to find yourself. Yeah, वो तो सदगुरु भी कहते हैं ना, find yourself, but he's right. Creativity comes from the idea of not knowing, the unpredictability of not knowing. How do I teach you not to know? Because anybody sitting in the room probably has gone through years and years of being told that you have to know, you have to know, you have to know, and suddenly guys come in and say, let me teach you not to know. It's a large part of creativity, and therefore the teaching of creativity to me is to help you let go of everything that you are. Because everything that you are has been accumulated upon you, and then you've defined yourself. By defining yourself, what you've done is confined yourself. So you have to let go of the idea of defining yourself. You have to let go of the idea of music, ये होता है. तो आप कहेंगे यार ये classical singers ना जो गाते हैं, पूरी जिंदगी एक ही राग गाते हैं, है ना? They're becoming perfect and perfect. राग तो वही है, गाते रहते, साल What are they trying to do? What are these classical musicians trying to do? They're not trying to define the rag. They are trying to become the rag. That's where true creativity lies. When I become my story that I tell, in Bandit Queen, I was the rapist and the raped both. I have to be, otherwise I can't tell a story. So the final, ultimate idea of creativity is to become the creativity, not the creator. But what you create and you become the same thing. If we can teach you to do that, you're all geniuses. That's where we are, right? So I'm going to let that go. I think I've probably done 10 minutes. I'll take any questions. I don't promise I can have the answers, but I can tell you what the answer is not. Okay. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
You as a faculty, being a part of MICA, this is so exciting. We are so excited. And we're absolutely happy to take questions from the press. Just a few things. We'd love to have questions about all the announcements made today. So if you have, and if you're keen to know more details about the School of Applied Creativity, happy to respond to that. The AI Advisory Board, happy to respond to that, because we've got literally the genesis, the shotra, the sotra. It started from here. We also have Dr. Hegde, who's put the pieces and the boards together. So we've got the structure there. Of course, Jazz there. So any questions, please direct them to me, and I will direct the question to who can best. Yes, please. Ji, boli.
I asked this question. Who got this idea? The school of ideas. So I was wondering whether this is talking about the school or what. That time I was a bit.
Yeah.
Let me finish the question.
Ji.
Now, after attending the meeting, after hearing with all these top people, I come to know that what is school of ideas. So before I ask something, with due respect to all of you, the thing is that everywhere the question is coming out about the AI, that is artificial intelligence. Now, when we were kids, we were given to understand we have come in this world, God has given us chance to come in this world.
A thesis or history of AI. You can even argue that AI was started like for 600 years ago, because we've always had this concept.
आइडिया क्या होता है? चलिए मैं आपसे पूछता हूँ, आइडिया क्या नहीं होगा? Thought idea, creative हो गया ना? School of ideas, school of creativity एक चीज होगी. बच्चों को आइडिया आता है तो आइडिया आप एक्सप्रेस करते हो. हमारा काम ये है कि आपको जो आइडिया आए उसको एक्सप्रेस करो. जब आइडिया को एक्सप्रेस करते हो तो क्रिएटिविटी हो जाता है. आइडिया is actually a better name for creativity. Okay. Thank you.
Any? Ji. Yes, please. There's a mic there.
ये जो प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस है, तो ये सोसाइटी के तरफ किस तरह वैल्यूज और मिशन के लेके चलती है, किस तरह देखती है?
आप जनरल क्वेश्चन पूछ रहे हैं कि माइका के बारे में पूछ रहे हैं? क्योंकि अगर माइका के बारे में पूछेंगे तो आई थिंक आई एम सिटिंग विद द बेस्ट professionals and experts. I am a promoter, I'm a chairperson, but my understanding of what they do and what they teach come hai. I'm not an educationist, but I feel very privileged and fortunate to be heading this institution because it's always good to work with very good quality professionals. तो आप माइका के बारे में बोलेंगे तो मैं ये जवाब दे रही हूँ.
Jim, you'd like to add to it?
I'll add one more thing. जब मैंने ये position accept की तो I did mention to my husband that you want me to do this, but मेरे में इन चीजों के लिए कोई समझ नहीं है. I have never done this work before, and he said no, you start, you can get the best people, and then I realized कि एक दिन my father-in-law had said to me when I was going to start some work in Ahmedabad in our textile division, and he said, you know, you've got very good taste, you should learn to go and design and things like that over there. And I said, I've never done it, Papa. And he said, you know what, you have to work with the best professionals, hire the best professionals, and you will be able to get to where you want to be. So I think it's very important that people are well versed with the subject, from the subject, and do what they have to do.
AI सोसायटीमध्ये काय होईल, सोसायटी डिस्टर्ब होईल का, आपल्याला जे वाटतं आपल्या स्वतःच्या बद्दल ते काहीतरी बदलेल का, पण असं नाहीये. ऍक्च्युअली काय होईल की आपल्याला हा विचार करावा लागेल की आपण आहोत कोण आणि आपल्याला मजा कशात येते, आपल्याला स्वतःची व्हॅल्यू कुठे दिसते, आपल्याला त्याच्याबद्दल खूप विचार करावा लागेल. आणि एज्युकेशन प्लेज अ व्हेरी इम्पॉर्टंट रोल टू शो दॅट मिरर की आपण आहोत काय आणि आपल्यात काय केलं. So to very quickly translate it into Hindi or English, what, you know what, yes. हो. So जसं for example आमच्या ह्याच्यात एक स्पेशलायझेशन आहे called data science and AI. तर you would expect की हे शिकवताना we will have a very technical view की आम्ही डेटा सायन्स मध्ये LLM शिकवू, मशीन लर्निंग शिकवू. ऑफकोर्स आम्ही हे शिकवतोच, पण त्याच्या आधी आम्ही अबाउट म्हणजे एक क्रेडिट म्हणतो म्हणजे 10 तास आम्ही AI फिलॉसॉफी शिकवतो. आणि त्या AI फिलॉसॉफीमध्ये हे शिकवतो की अकाउंटेबिलिटी म्हणजे काय, राईट, आपण रिस्पॉन्सिबल AI म्हणजे काय, एक व्हॅल्यू जजमेंट म्हणजे काय. कारण की फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम इन द हिस्ट्री ऑफ मॅनकाइंड आपण जजमेंट किंवा कॉग्निटिव्ह डिसिजन मेकिंग वी आर आउटसोर्सिंग टू अ मशीन. तर आपल्यातनं काढून, माणसातनं काढून आपण मशीनमध्ये टाकतो. तर हे आपण कधीच पहिले केलं नाही की तुम्ही असं जज करा की हे बरोबर आहे की नाही, हे आपण माणसातच ठेवलं ना, आपण कधी मशीनमध्ये नाही टाकलं. पण आता आपण तसं करतोय. तर मग हे कसं करायचं, हाऊ डू यू ट्रान्सलेट इट सो दॅट द मशीन बिकम्स मॉरली एथिकली करेक्ट. आणि ते आम्ही शिकवतो बिफोर वी टीच मशीन लर्निंग, डीप लर्निंग, न्यूरल नेटवर्क्स.
Thank you. Yes, please. Yeah, I see you. Can we pass the mic to the lady?
Your brain power is going to be amplified and extended because the way you think will actually get further augmented. So there are certain types of jobs that could potentially go away. Fine, but then there are newer, higher order jobs that would actually come your way because of the augmentation of your critical thinking. These are not the jobs that we can even potentially think of today, but these are jobs that we will eventually create. Second, AI will challenge the notion of what jobs are, what work is, and some of the structures in which we have actually operated till date. A job is usually seen as in a traditional sense, as a profession, as a trade. Now, some of these will even go away from our lexicon, because individuals will potentially become creators of job on the fly. I'll give you an example. I think it was said by Shekhar in the previous interaction. 2 or 3 weeks back, we realized that Meta had made an offer to an individual with a signing on bonus of $100 million Can you imagine an individual being paid $100 million as signing on bonus? We have never heard. Find the wealthiest lady in UK probably gets paid more than what Tim Cook of Apple gets paid. So when individuals can probably think beyond the boundaries of thinking, I'm getting a little philosophical, fine, but it is going to extend and amplify brain power to a point where you can create newer opportunities in the market. I'm consciously not calling them jobs, fine, and it's only going to enhance, amplify, extend the human brain power. I get a feeling that the level of entrepreneurship in countries that adopt AI will go up exponentially, and the traditional models of employment will actually disappear. We are in the thick of it, and therefore we don't realize it, but once you step back, you will see what's happening around us.
While you were talking, I was watching, there was outside, there's a guy who, he's laying the table. That's his job, right? Ask him if he enjoys his job. His answer would be no. Ask him if he wants to do a more interesting job. The answer would be yes. I was sitting with the CEO of one of the world's largest corporations. He was saying the same things. What will happen to jobs? He runs an corporation. So we're sitting here for breakfast. एक औरत है, उसकी उम्र होगी, roughly 40-45, she's cleaning. And all she's doing is waiting for us to leave so that she can finish her job. So मैंने कहा, देखो Chen, is she enjoying her job? The answer was, of course she's not. I said, you just talked about 90% of the people that we prescribe, ये आपकी job है, ये करो. AI will relieve that. AI will let go of the person that's doing a job that they don't like, can go home with something and discover what they are. They discover their own potential. So I said, Chen, your job's the problem. You should watch out for your job because they won't want to work for you anymore because you give them jobs that they don't want to do. Because their jobs are money, AI will give them more potential. I told my cook, he's a Nilesh to hai khada ho ja. My attendant. He wrote the best thing for Mr. India too. अरे निलेश कहाँ है? नहीं हो आ गया उसको पता है मैं I will always call him because he did do that. So everybody, every human being will now through AI, when they have access to it, find what they are most creative at, find what they are best at. तुम कब छोड़ दो ये job नहीं है, वो CEOs better worry about their jobs because nobody will want to work for them now if they say job, right? Okay, thank you.
Hi, so we have a few journalists who are witnessing this virtually throughout the country. So we have a couple of questions from them. I think many of them have already been answered. So I'll just ask, Jaya ma'am or anybody else would like to add.
Yes, I'll invite the Dean and Agla later.
To add on to whatever was said, the thing is that what we do in the program or the course, when they come in, we essentially talk about the tools that they can use. And I think so much is spoken about whether AI will take over the human job. No, because the tools are the ones, and how the tools can be used by the students is something that by these students who will get into work, that would be more important, and that's what we teach or we try to inculcate. And as Shekhar always says, the unknown is what is to be spoken about or to be seen. But what in the second year is in the second year of the student, they will learn more about philosophy. Thinkers. There are many thinkers who think about AI and what the society and how the society will react. And I think this is something which no other institution talks about, the philosophy of AI, the social aspects in AI. Thinkers like Harari, who've spoken a lot about economics and how financial matters and what happens, and the creativity and what you will do next. So it's kind of a different model which we really get them to do. While other business schools, essentially, when we say school and compete with some of the business schools, they talk about using the tools. But for us, in our pedagogy, using the tool comes first and basic. And we know that the students are out there, the younger generation, have already done that in many places. So this is how
immersions where the students will be, and in the second year, which again is very, very distinct to MICA, we have many industries associated with us. We have identified the 150 industry, go-to-industry companies that we would want to work with, and more often than not, even the companies say that we don't know how AI is going to work and pan out and what is going to happen. So they give us the problem of, we are in collaboration with the companies, we are getting problem statements from them, and they would, and work with the students together. So that is an immersive work that we are doing, and we also have the industry folks coming and teaching us students. So this essentially is it. So this is how it is.
So, very interestingly, there's a question about what is the USP of this school, because, there is a global interest too, is how we understand it. So, the question is that why do you think that, global students will also be interested? And I think you started to answer that already. So, I think the part about understanding problem statements from, real industry, and then, how it is getting applied. So, if anything you want to add to this, because that was the next and last question.
Maybe I'll request Jay if you could add.
Is to not just focus on what has been taught in the past, right? So we are actively looking at collaborations with other schools across the globe. Wait for it. There will be announcements that come soon. So we are looking at international collaborations with different schools. But you saw our AI advisory board. Our AI advisory board is made up of the biggest names in the business. They're not just here in India, but they're also in the UK, in the Middle East. So we are definitely looking at internationalization. But having said that, I would just want to be very clear that our perspective is really Indian. Our perspective is really, the global south. And why I say that is there's a lot for us to contribute. So if you look at how AI is being developed in all the scholarship, it's very Euro-American. And it's really time that we are the second largest, second largest market in the world and the fourth largest economy. So if you're going to develop AI, it needs to be specific, to India as well. We need to be contributing to that scholarship. So while we do a lot of internationalization, we will put forward an India-centric approach, a global south approach, which is distinct to us. Now this is really interesting for the European world and the Western world. Even the Pacific or the Far East, it's an interesting thing for them to see as well, because we are an older civilization, we have got our own ways of doing things. Frugal AI being one of them, Jugaad being the other one, right? And we are also an extremely vibrant startup community. So there is a lot of interest to collaborate with India, and so I see a rich, interdisciplinary, global interaction there that will take place. To add, I think so. We have the management school, MICA, which is the School of Ideas. Under that umbrella, we have another school, which is the School of Applied Creativity. This would be a postgraduate. We have lots of programs, but the one that we are currently, going to open admissions, hopefully next month, end of August. You need to be a graduate, so it's a postgraduate program. The first one is in media, content, and entertainment. The eligibility is you need to be a graduate. And we will, of course, put everyone through MyCat, which is that your examination which sees whether you are creative. What we're really looking for are curious minds with an entrepreneurial mindset. And yeah, we're looking forward to getting our first batch.
Yes, and we put all of this.
मैं अपना एक्टर बनाऊंगा ना AI पे, मुझे क्या जरूरत है किसी एक्टर को दे? वो 70% वो ले जाएंगे, मैं क्यों भाई AI से कहूँगा कि ऐसा मुझे एक बहुत अच्छा खूबसूरत एक लड़की बना दो, एक बहुत खूबसूरत लड़का बना दो, फिर मैं देखता हूँ अच्छा ये ठीक नहीं है, वो ठीक नहीं है, फिर उस केस को यूँ मैं AI बना दूँगा। आप में कितने? We know that 50% of all the influencers or those beautiful people, they're not real. They are AI created. So now we'll have movie stars that are AI created. आज मैं तो परसों नहीं कल आ रहे हो, मैं देख रहा हूँ सब कर रहे हैं. Music videos आ रहे हैं, they are AI created. अच्छा, how many people have met Tom Cruise in their life? Raise your hand. How do you know he's real? Why? Because you've seen him in movies, two-dimensional. You've seen him in, giving interviews, two-dimensional. Tom Cruise went to Wimbledon, two-dimensional. After he won. How do you know he's real? So in the world of AI, now we'll be creating my own movie stars, our own movie stars will go to Wimbledon. We'll go to every premiere because I can do it. I can make it very real for you. So that's the question is wrong now. It's in the future, that's how much the world is changing. And it's giving me the tools of creating new people. अब हम महाभारत में कहते हैं AI कृष्ण किसने देखा है कृष्ण है ना हम तो बना रहे हैं ये कृष्ण right okay sorry I can go on with this thanks
So I think thank you everyone for your questions and thanks Patty for the answer that it was extremely insightful. I think we've covered more and beyond what we thought we will. That's why I think getting to the relevant for us now. So I think we can wrap up and leave all of us and maybe have
Yes, thank you so much. So first, thank you media people for all the interest you showed. It was you who got to show up. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Shekhar. Thank you, Ram. Thank you, Jaya. Thank you, Geeta. Excited. Lots of work for us. Please keep following us. Thank you. We'll head for lunch.